Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, Jewelry Forever at jewelryforever.ca, and Beautified by Romina. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
I wish these made noise. I wish these things made
noise.
Too.
But I don't know who used those.
And they're not red. They're not red. Hello everybody. Welcome to episode 303.
Woo.
Of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. I'm your host, the one, the only, Scott Dion Brown. And she's not here. She's not on this side of the table.
But you can hear me.
Yes. Because I am joined on the other side of the table, as always, by the greatest co-host in all the galaxy, the one, the only,
Regine Alaina. Happy Sunday. It's so weird being on this side of the couch, but
it's not the norm.
It's not. It's not my microphone. It wasn't my headphones in the beginning, but we switched.
Yeah, we had to switch them out because it's
like this doesn't feel right.
My ears. This is not it's not molded to my head.
I don't like this.
Yeah, but we're doing a guestless episode today
because we love our guests.
Yeah,
but it's always fun to just catch up and sit down and talk.
Yeah, every now and again we get to have an episode where exactly, we can kind of hit certain topics that we want to hit. Thomas in the chat, you're late for your own show. How dare you, Thomas? You know what? You're right. My apologies. We apologize greatly. Although I will say one of the benefits of having your own show is that
you can be late.
Yes. I can, it's like Gandalf, a wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. So I wanted to start the show at 11:17.
16.
11:16. There you go. Les McKenzie, way to go, Team Canada. Yes,
Woo.
That's right. So,
oops.
Oh, there we go.
Go Canada, go.
So,
Canada recently won.
Yes.
Four Nations?
The Four Nations Faceoff. Now, what's amazing is this game, we don't really talk politics on the show.
No.
However, it has to be mentioned that there was politics played a role in making this game as meaningful as it was.
It was quite dramatic. Normally I don't watch hockey, and I didn't watch this series, but I did see a lot on social media when it came to from the get-go with just our national anthem and how it was sung. And
yeah. Oh, yeah. I even forgot about that part. Okay, so we got to break the whole thing down.
Let's break it down.
But basically, what just happened, Canada defeated the U.S. in a thrilling match. It was super close. We went all the way to overtime. And then Mitch Marner feeds the puck over to the greatest hockey player in the world, Connor McDavid, who just put that baby top corner. Gold medal.
Woo.
Canada.
Can I have my noisemaker?
Yeah.
It just feels weird. Yeah. Okay, say that again.
Gold medal for Canada. So the first thing I'll start with is obviously the hype for the game. So something I read, and it was getting attention both in Canada and the U.S.
Wait. Can we step it back for a second? Yes. What is the Four Nations? Because I've never heard of this.
You've never heard of it because it didn't exist before.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
That makes more sense.
So basically what it was is, you're aware of the All-Star game.
The All-Star game, the World Juniors, the Olympics, all that stuff.
So like the NBA, for example, they just had their All-Star weekend as well, or All-Star week or whatever it was.
Weekend.
Yeah. And so the NHL decided, instead of having an All-Star game, we're going to do this Four Nations Face-Off tournament.
And what are the nations in the Four Nations?
The Four Nations were Canada.
Yep.
The United States.
Yep.
Finland.
Okay.
Sweden.
Why just those four?
They're the biggest hockey nations. I think probably it would normally also include Russia, because Russia is another, but Putin is
The war.
being mean right now, so
got it.
he's just not in.
Four nations.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so it was kind of the four top hockey nations, and so maybe in the future there'll be a five nations one, whenever they can get this stopped. But so it was basically the four best hockey countries, all NHL players. So basically it was the first time in quite a few years where we've seen a best on best tournament. What's interesting though is I guess yesterday I was on the gram and I saw a post from like 2-3 weeks ago, people talking about this upcoming Four Nations tournament. And it's so interesting how many of the comments at that time, like 2-3 weeks ago, were all like, oh, who cares about this tournament? It's just a cheap replacement for the All-Star game. Nobody cares. And other people were like, can't believe it. Like, Russia's not in it, so it doesn't even count. And there were so many comments like that. Like, basically people saying this is a waste of time. Nobody's going to watch. Nobody cares. Nobody's interested. But it is interesting to see how all of that changed in the days leading up to the tournament. Obviously, we kind of escaped the political situation. We've got tariffs being put on Canadian goods going into the United States.
Yep.
And then you've got the president saying, again, I think there are more jokes, but he's still saying things like, oh, Canada needs to become the 51st state, all that stuff. And so, the reality was the tensions between the two countries were kind of pushed to
the ice. They were pushed to the ice. That's what happened.
Pushed to the ice.
Yeah.
Yes. So what it suddenly did was it made this game and this tournament just like a lot more important all of a sudden.
Well, didn't Canada and the U.S. play twice?
Yeah. Well, because it's a tournament, so there was the first round where I think all the teams played each other.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Yeah. So it worked out. It was something like if you win in regulation time, you get 3 points. If you get to overtime, I think you get 1 point. And then if you win in overtime, you get 2 points. So that's how they determine who ends up in the finals. Okay. And so at the end, the U.S. won both their games in regulation time, so they had 6 points. Canada lost in overtime to the U.S., so we had 1 point. And then we won in overtime against, I want to say... Sweden. Although we also played Finland, too. We beat them as well. I'm getting all confused. Bottom line, it worked out. It worked out that Canada and the U.S. ended up in the gold medal game. And
the drama.
It was incredible. Okay, so for starters, the first game they played, there were 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game.
I heard. Ooh.
It was nobody expected it, but so obviously people in the news will have heard of Canadians have been booing the U.S. anthem at sporting events lately. Yes. I
heard that.
And again, this is also, in fact, I also seen comments of this, but Americans should know when Canadians are booing the anthem at games, even though I'm not really for booing anthems, the reason that it's happening is not because of, they're not booing Americans. It's literally a reaction to the tariffs and the comments that Trump's been making. And so that's what it's been happening. And so when this tournament was coming up, first game between the Canada and the U.S., I'm like, they're definitely going to boo the anthem. Like, the game was in Montreal. It's like, there's no way that they're not going to boo the anthem. Oh. Yeah. So I remember watching it on TV. They booed the anthem the entire stretch. And they cheered really loud for the Canadian anthem. And I remember thinking to myself, even if the U.S. team knows why the Canadians are booing their anthem.
It must suck.
Well, they're not going to take that laying down. Nobody, So the tensions just were boiling over, right? And I think that's why, right off the top of the game, there was, just fights broke out immediately.
Ooh.
However, I will say this, though. 2 of the first fights were by there's 2 brothers on the American team. The Kachuk brothers, I think that's how you pronounce it. And what I found out was, so their dad was also an NHL player, 20 years ago or whatever it was. And apparently in an international tournament, got in a fight as well, like right near the beginning of the game.
So are they just trying to continue his legacy?
Yeah. So I realized that afterwards. I'm like, okay, so
Lame.
it's not quite as like, it wasn't necessarily a spur of the moment. I think it was something they were intending
planned,
to do all the time. But the third fight, I think, was definitely from a spur of the moment thing. It was just, I think you could feel the tensions
tension?
were there.
Ooh.
So it was just electric.
But you know what's wild to me is they took the best of the best, and a bunch of them are from the NHL. So if you look at it, the
All of them are
Canadians and the
NHL,
okay, so the
Yeah.
Canadians and the Americans and the
Swedes,
Swedish
the Swedes,
and
yeah.
the
the Finns.
Finns, they're all coworkers.
Oh yes.
So why y'all fighting? That's
mean-
an HR problem.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. The like there was an NHL game yesterday. So like
yeah.
basically after this tournament
I saw
ends, like
that, yeah.
they all go right back to work. I mean, and that's the other thing. I mean, obviously you're right in that, these guys, yeah, they're all on teams together.
Yeah,
You
they've
know.
all played against each other. They've all played together.
Yeah. I think it's that, the
It's a pride of the country.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And obviously a sports rivalry is still a real thing. Like
Yeah,
when
that's true. Like if you look at the Olympics, it's always
yeah.
there's always something.
Like I think, once you put your country's flag on your chest, you feel that, and I think, I mean, again, I think this game specifically, I think Canada, I think we needed a win, I think times have been tough lately, and all this rhetoric coming out of the U.S.,
It's a crazy time.
yeah, and I think it's just been it's been people are upset, and I just think this just came at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
And to be able to grab that win it was just, and also like it caught attention in the U.S. too. Like I read a thing the other day. It was on ESPN, which is
Yeah.
the big sports network in the U.S. It was the most viewed non-football sporting event.
Wow.
In I think it was in history in ESPN history. So obviously football, not Great Cup, Super Bowl and everything is still the biggest stuff down there.
You just reminded me. I saw the dumbest thing on Facebook. I mean, it is Facebook, so not all the posts are meant to be. I'm not going to go there. There was a post after Canada won this tournament where it's like Canada might have won, but they've never won a
Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, there is
I mean,
what?
it has been funny watching
reaction?
all of the American coping with, like, because
Yeah.
you're getting a lot of like, doesn't even matter. Oh, it was just an exhibition game. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But the reality was, everybody got swept up in it. I think Canadians more than Americans, just because of what's been happening. But
Canadians are very prideful.
yeah, and I mean Americans
So
too,
are
right?
Americans, but like, oh yes, Americans are, but there's something like you said, like Canadians are we are nice people, yes, but we are very prideful. Like remember when Roots had those mittens?
Yeah.
The Canada mittens? Everyone had a Canada mitten. They
Yeah.
should bring those back actually.
I agree.
I think they should.
It might be time. In fact, out of this tournament, it was funny as soon as
we need some merch.
yeah, well, as soon as the show, as soon as the game ended on
Yeah.
I guess was it? Oh no, Thursday. It was Thursday night. As soon as the game ended, I was like, those Team Canada jerseys are pretty nice. I gotta take a look. They're sold out everywhere.
Wow.
Everywhere. There's nowhere to get them anywhere.
And I'm sure the resale on those are gonna be ridiculous.
Yes. And so, yeah, it was just. I've heard people compare it to, like the meaning was, it was as meaningful as like the 2010 when we won gold against the U.S. in the Olympics. Other people were even saying it's probably the biggest game ever played since like the 1972 Summit Series against the Russians.
Wow.
And I would agree with that. It just felt. I think. Again, we needed this win, and I think the entire country kind of just got swept up in it. Because Canada and U.S. We're obviously the historic rivals, being neighbors. You're going to compete with each other. It's why the Finns and the Swedes, they have the same type of rivalry, right? Because they're neighbors. But I think just because of the all the stuff happening outside of hockey,
Yeah.
it just sort of put this magnifying glass on this moment in a way that was.
Unlike no other.
It was beautiful to watch, and it's also interesting watching, like, because I think
didn't
what
watch
happened was,
it.
oh yeah, well, you should watch the highlights if you want. Later. But like, I saw also on Instagram, there's a lot of reactions from Americans who don't watch hockey, who don't normally watch hockey.
Yeah.
You know, like people from like the South, you know, who have, you know, they don't even get ice down there. But all these comments are being like, whoa, this is what hockey is? Like, I've never watched it, but this was amazing. This tournament was so, and like, I think for that, it was great for the game, I think.
It's interesting you say that because Florida has a great hockey team from what I've heard.
Yep.
Right. And I've been to Florida a few times now where it is, hockey season and their teams are doing great, but you go to a bar and they're playing college football or whatever. And you're like, wait a minute, maybe now after this Four Nations thing, they'll actually support their local hockey teams.
I mean,
in the South.
I definitely think there are going to be some people who will
jump on it. Yeah.
Because like, look, I still maintain, and obviously my Canadian bias is going to be showing, but I do really believe it's the best sport. It's the best sport, and I say this.
You used to play it.
I mean, again, like I said, I'm Canadian bias, so probably.
Yeah.
But I'm also aware of, look, like let's say, obviously, the most popular sport in the world is soccer, right? But if you like soccer, there's no reason why you wouldn't like hockey as well, because
it's the same concept.
It's the same. Yes. Yeah. There's two nets, a net on either end, and you're trying to put the thing into the net. You're trying to score a goal. So but it's like quadruple the speed.
Less injuries.
Less fake injuries, you mean? Yes, exactly. It's full contact, and nobody pretends to fall down.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, there's no... My point is, if you can get into one, you can get into the other. It's just the speed, the pacing. It's a beautiful game.
Do you watch soccer?
A little. I mean, honestly, it's...
Because you go to the BMO Field, but for Argos, not for...
I've been to a handful of TFC games, but it's not one that I watch often. I'm more likely to tune in to, like, when the World Cup is on, I'll tune in and watch a bit of that. But it's not one of my regular watches. Actually, I haven't been watching that much sports in general lately.
Soccer is, I think, because I used to work for MLSE, I think I can say that. I don't work there anymore. I think between baseball and watching soccer, they're long.
I mean, yes.
They're long, and because you don't really get, like, I'm the type of person that I'd rather watch sports live. I'd rather watch hockey live. I'd rather watch basketball. Actually, basketball I could watch on TV or live. But it's just something about sitting there, and I don't really follow either sports team, so I'll be like, okay, I'm done now.
Yeah, I mean, well, baseball, I think most of all, baseball is kind of in the cricket tradition, which is in that when you go to a baseball game, it's supposed to be kind of slow.
I'd rather watch Toronto Rock play.
Toronto Rock, lacrosse is a great sport, although they're based out of Hamilton.
They're very far now, they're
based out of Hamilton. But yeah, I mean, similar energy to ice hockey. Yeah. But baseball and cricket, it's like the idea is you go to the game, but it's more of an experience. That's why they call it not a sport, they call it a pastime. So you go there, you have your drink, you're hanging out with your friends. Cricket is even worse in that, like in when you go to cricket, like games last all day and sometimes multiple days.
Same with golf. People who watch like PGA tours, I'm like, how? It's not like you get like, because every hole is in a different location. Where in like in like baseball, basketball, all of those different sports, it's all in one setting.
Yes.
Where you can watch the whole thing. But golf, you can only watch whatever is in front of you. And then you have to wait until they get there. I went
to the Canadian Open. Was it the Canadian Open? Yeah, I think it was. I went to the Canadian Open once. And you unless you so what you have two options. One, you can find an area, like you basically like pick a seat at one of the holes, and then you just see all the golfers go through that hole. We didn't do that though. What we did was we kind of walked around, and you basically just pick a golfer and then just follow him around. Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's a fun day, but it's a completely different experience than watching like.
Just play golf instead.
Yeah, I guess so. I think golf might actually be. I don't watch enough golf, but I would say golf is probably better on TV for that reason. At least you see everything. But then again, it's cool to be
in the atmosphere.
Yeah, out there and seeing everything.
With your little merch.
With your merch.
And your little golf outfits.
Yeah. I did kind of dress like a golfer when I went. But I assume that's just golf clothes. Whatever.
Because you're at a golf club, so they probably have a dress code.
They probably had something. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes.
Team Canada. Woo!
Yes. Anyways, it was a beautiful game. You know, the game was so close because obviously the players are all so good. Like the parity is so close. But it's nice. Canada and international tournaments against the U.S. We have won so many more times. I can't remember the exact number, but it's something like 15-5 or 14-5 or something. So like, for years we were always just on top. And it's obviously a huge source of national pride. But it was just a beautiful thing. Canada needed a win. It felt good. And yeah, I can't remember the last time I was really supremely invested in something like this. It probably was the 2010 Olympics.
I was going to say when the Leafs were in the semifinals last year.
Yeah, and then I guess obviously when the Raptors won on their run.
Oh my God,
that was beautiful.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah, but
I got really aggressive with that one.
Yeah. Yes, but I guess for this one, I think at a national level, I think just the stakes felt higher, and I guess because they. You know, and it's just funny how it really was just sort of an exhibition game, but you can just see, like, it's especially funny because this replaced the All-Star game, and obviously the All-Star game is like, it's just a fun weekend.
Honestly,
right?
when people talk about the All-Star weekend for hockey, I don't really hear much about it compared to like the NBA All-Star weekend. But this year, I heard more about the Four Nations than I did on the NBA All-Star weekend, and they were back to back.
Yeah, nobody cared about the NBA.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, but again, it's because, like, again, the other thing is normally the All-Star game, All-Star weekend, like, even at the game itself, the players aren't really trying, you know, like, NHL one is the same. It's like, it's fun to see your big stars playing each other and, you know, they're doing little moves and, you know.
Showing off their little skills.
But it's not like, you're not invested in who wins the All-Star game.
Yeah.
This was... The players were in. Like, everyone was saying, like, this feels like playoff hockey. This feels like Stanley Cup hockey.
Do you think this is something, I know this was the first year, but do you think this is something they're going to continue?
I've got to think, yes. I mean, yes. It would be hard for me to think how they could justify
Maybe
seeing
they do
how
like
successful.
every other year.
Yeah, actually, that is one thing I was thinking about in that would it lose some of its grandeur if it was every single year? But then
Like
again,
the Olympics is every 4 years.
Yeah. I don't know.
So maybe they do like this year was the Four Nations, next year All-Star, and then
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, then again,
they have the money for it.
yeah.
Let's be real. There's a lot of money in hockey.
Yes. Either way, it's definitely not the last one. Oh, Les McKenzie. Golf is the only professional sport where you sometimes can be standing 10 feet from the professional athlete with the cheapest ticket. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Because you can literally, I mean, you're right there. You're walking with them. Like,
True.
I will say, yeah, when we went, it was a pretty neat experience. And what I noticed is obviously, like, I remember Mike Weir was there. And so if you follow Mike Weir, like, there's a huge crowd of people following Mike Weir.
Oh, I'd be so sad if you had no crowd following.
Well, I mean, the reality is there are some athletes who had like nobody. But I remember like there was a couple times where we picked a golfer who was less popular.
Yeah.
But because of that, like Les is saying, you can get right there. Like, you're basically, here's the guy, he's on his run of golf, and like there are some people there who kind of make sure, you know, they keep you at a certain distance, but you're right there next to the guy. You can hear him talking to his caddy.
True.
You know,
You can feel his sweat.
yes, and you get
swings.
and he goes, and you get lots of exercise if you're following a particular golfer. Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, you're just walking all day.
I mean, again, if you're playing golf, you can do the same thing.
Yeah, but obviously.
But
part
this
of-
is different because it's like, yes, you are up close and personal with.
yes, and obviously
these
the
golfers.
appeal of watching professional sports is you're
Yeah.
watching people who are the best at something.
I don't think that
do it.
watching golf would be something on my bucket list.
Fair enough. I mean, I think you'd have to be
I'm not an avid golfer.
yeah.
I'll follow my husband around on the golf course. That's it.
Same experience.
Same experience.
Same experience.
No, but I actually get to drive the the
Oh, yeah.
golf cart where that you'd be walking.
Yeah, they don't use carts in the professional.
No.
That's right. They got to carry their bags.
The only time I'm allowed to drive anything is the golf cart. I don't drive, for those who didn't know. But yeah, go Team Canada.
Go Team Canada. It was a beautiful thing. Oh, and Regine, you to celebrate,
Yes,
you made some cookies.
I did.
Tell us about these cookies.
They're the exact same ones I made at Christmas. I've been baking a lot, and I was like, you know what? Let's bake. And then I remembered you are on like a little fitness journey.
I kind of, from the beginning of the year, I decided I was going to vastly reduce how much sugar I was eating. Mm-hmm. I don't think I was eating that much anyway, but it was probably, it's probably too much. Mm-hmm. So
I get that. I'm also, my husband and I are also doing a little bit less sugar. And I'm like, I baked all these cookies. I need to get rid of them somehow.
yeah. I mean, I think particularly in North America, I think there's just a lot of sugar in everything. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to escape it. Mm-hmm. So I think even making a little decision to just reduce it slightly is probably good for almost everybody.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, I'll have a cookie.
Yay. Yeah.
So what are we eating? What are these?
They're just regular chocolate chip cookies with white chocolate chips mixed into them as well.
Oh, look at that.
You had those at Christmas.
So chocolate chip and white chocolate chip mixed together.
And I just realized
What?
I didn't try them, so I hope they're good.
What's in it? No, it's delicious.
They're good? Okay, good. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. I gotta say, you're worried about your health and trying to look fit and whatnot, but your pants are the baggiest pants I've seen in a very long time.
You're right. These
You can
pants-
fit all those cookies in those pants. So Scott and I, it's funny. So Scott and I, you all can't see the whole outfit, but are very early 2000s vibes today.
Yeah. I picked you up this morning during a pink jacket and full out like flared bell bottom jeans.
Here, let's see. Let's see what y'all can see. Hang on.
Right. Look at that. And mine as well. I saw the.
Are you going to stand on the couch, Scott?
Okay.
No, don't stand on the couch.
You know how baggy these are.
Those are the baggiest pants I've ever seen you
Look,
wear.
They also have.
Like the cargo thingies, yeah.
Which I was debating cutting that off.
No.
But I also think it's kind of funny because I could attach a chain to it to my wallet.
And you just found your childhood wallet recently.
I did, but it wasn't a chain style.
You can still put a chain through it.
I could, and you know what? I should.
You should.
But it was funny. Like I saw these jeans, and I was like,
Where'd you find them?
winners.
Oh.
They're at winners. But I put them. What I like about them though, they're very loose through the leg, but they fit on the waist,
Yeah.
which is kind of different because
Back then they were just loose.
yes,
loose.
like I
Yeah.
would just buy giant jeans,
Yeah.
and then I would put on a belt
yeah.
and pull it tight. So this one I can actually wear them without a belt, and you still get the big giant flare.
These jeans are low rise, and I'm like, I'm struggling. I don't know how. I went to Catholic school. I don't know how we got away with low rise jeans in a Catholic school.
It was the times. It was the times.
Struggle.
But
It's cute though.
I kind of am. I'm happy about it. Like it's funny because I remember when they first started coming back, I was like, I don't want them to come back. Like everybody looks so frumpy and everything's so loose and everything. But then what's funny now is once you see it enough, your like perception of what's normal changes. Because I remember the first time I saw someone in skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Remember I was driving. The first time I saw a guy in skinny jeans.
Yeah.
I was driving. I look over and there was a dude. He had like, they were super tight and like, but so tight that, remember how some people wear them where they like, they're still kind of a
Like
little
a boot
bit.
cut.
No, not boot cut, like skinny. But I'm talking about the top. They were like slightly down so you could still see the boxers sticking out.
that.
And like the butt was squished. Like it doesn't even make your butt look good. It's a squish. I remember he was standing there holding that, wearing that. And then he had like the hair that was like a
Emo?
diagonal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the guy and I was like, he looks terrible. What is he wearing?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like 6 months later,
Here you
I
are
was
with
wearing skinnies.
fitted jeans, yeah.
Although I never wore them, like I always wore them so that they fit around the bottom nicely because I always thought
Yeah.
it looks better. But anyway, point is now when I see skinnies, I'm like, looks like, I even look at pictures of myself like from like a couple of years ago, and I'm wearing like really tight jeans, and I'm like, why am I? It looks so
Straight cut is probably better for you.
yeah. But at the time, skinny. Everybody was wearing them.
Skinny jeans.
But my point is now the baggy ones. The other thing I like about them is that they're so they're comfortable.
It's like wearing track pants, but you're not.
Yes, because like I have a pair of skinnies still like that fit me. Like they're not even tight. They fit. But now when I put them on and feel myself constricted, I'm just like, nah, this is too tight. Like give me something to.
I mean, I work from home, so I'm usually in pajama bottoms. Let's be real. So when I come out of the house, I'm either in leggings or leggings.
Yeah.
Or a dress or something. So these jeans are just, I'm not used to jeans anymore. But I do wear skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Just because I do not feel like I need to buy a new pair of jeans just to fit in with the mom jeans and
Just
the
do
baggy
it.
jeans. No.
Do it, Regine.
No.
It's
Why?
free.
I barely, the only time I wear them is here.
Fair enough.
Like I've had these jeans since my birthday in April, and I finally wore them out today.
I think you are right about I think it is the influence of being at home a lot, because obviously we went through the pandemic, so we were all wearing cozy clothes all the time.
I still do.
Yeah, but so because of that now, it's like when I have to put on real clothes outside, it does feel way more constricting. Because whereas I remember before, I used to just kind of wear jeans all day. Like I'd just be in them, even at home. I'd just be in my jeans.
Oh, no.
Not anymore. Like now it's like, oh, I'm inside now.
I'm
Indoor
inside
clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but I think these loose jeans fit that. I'm just like comfortable. I'm just like
It's
cozy.
not you.
I mean, the thing is,
It's not you.
when I look in the mirror now, I'm like, it's weird because it's very weirdly familiar because it's what I used to wear.
Fair.
It's just funny to see. I'm like, yeah, I would have worn these in high school. Yeah.
Well, that was like me today. I was like, I put my jacket on, and then I put my boots on, and I'm like, and my boots are like the fake UGG boots, and I'm like, oh, I just jumped into the time warp machine or time whatever, and I go into your car, and I'm like, oh, what are you wearing? And realized we are in the same vibes today.
Yes.
We threw it back too far.
And these jeans are the baggiest. Like I have two other pairs that I bought recently that are also pretty baggy. But these ones are the most, I think, designed to like, because it fits around the waist and then it really goes out. Whereas the other ones are kind of just big jeans, like how it used to be. But these are very much like a look. And honestly, I like it. I like it.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, just give it time.
Sorry.
Regine's going to
No.
be wearing like super light wash, baggy, super wide flares in like a 6 months.
I've tried a few pairs on just to see what they felt like, and they're just not me. Because growing up, these jeans that I'm wearing now is what I would have worn, like fitted at the top, low rise, flare at the bottom, and then it was high waisted skinny jeans.
That makes sense because in the early 2000s, it's true. Like there were people who did wear super flares, like mod robes, like giant bags, as in like you
I
could
never
fit, like,
got into that.
Yeah, that's right. Most people, I think, you could either go that way or like you said, a kind of a fitted jean through the top and a very like a basically bell bottom.
What I'm wearing now, yeah.
Yes.
That's so to me, these are more actually what I like about these. And yes, they're low rise, but because I've obviously gained weight through pandemic and working from home and not doing a pageant. My jeans don't fit that great. So these are nice. These are nice.
Throwing it back, Regine.
I am.
Throwing it
It's
back.
a little. I just think it's crazy that we both decided that today was a day we're going to throw it back with our pants and see what happens.
You know, it works. It works.
It's just weird. I think a lot of guests will be like, when we have our shows with the guests, like when we had Proctor Hawk, we're all color coordinated. We do have this, maybe because we've done this show for so long, like our styles have synced where we're like, we're going to wear this sit down shirt today. And
you know, there could be something to that. In that, like when yeah, you're right, because we've done it so much that we're kind of maybe on
color
a similar
coordinate, but we
wavelength.
don't plan it.
No, we don't. No, but I'm wondering if there is something like in the brain that like because like there's pathways that have formed, and so it's like when I choose this color, it's because of this happened and this happened, this happened, and because it's a similar experience to you. it's happened. So we're kind of landing, oh, it makes sense we would do this today.
Because I'd be like, I haven't worn this in a while, but I recently just wore this, so I'm going to wear this now. And then we but when we do coordinate, we coordinate to a T.
Yes. Well, and so
I'm pretty good at that, yeah.
You got to do it right.
Yeah.
Do it right. Let's do the ads.
Yes, let's do it.
And then we have some other things to talk about coming out the other end. But first, everybody, today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina.
But you didn't say earlier.
I didn't at the top, didn't I? I was distracted by
my face? I was like,
and I was looking at the camera.
Demoted.
Anyway, and Regine Alaina is brought to you by the following fantastic advertisers. Let's meet them, shall we?
We shall.
The Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. In these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor, and she could be yours. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at JMckenziehomes at gmail.com. Jewelry forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East, Markham. They do custom-made jewelry, repairs, laser engraving, and they change watch batteries. All done on site. They also clean your jewelry. Make your wedding ring sparkle.
So sparkly.
As bright as the night of your nuptials. And we have an amazing deal worked out with them, don't we, Regine?
Yes, we do. If you go in and let them know Scott and Regine sent you, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase.
That's right. 15% off, 15% mention the show. Get something special for the special person in your life. Jewelry forever. When you're ready to say forever, think jewelry forever. Beautified by Romina.
Internationally trained hair and makeup artist. She is the official makeup artist of The Sit Down. Not only does she do our hair and makeup when we do photo shoots, but also when we MC live events, when we attend events, short films, pageants, weddings, engagements, photo shoots.
Really anything and everything you need to be beautified.
Exactly. Reach out to her on Instagram and Facebook at Beautified by Romina.
And if you would like to advertise on the show, it's very easy, right, Regine?
It's simple. All you have to do is email us at radioshowad. That's radioshowad@gmail.com. Oops.
That's right. We do the show live every week, people. And we also do the ads live week to week. What does that mean? It means you can personalize them week to week. Do you have an event, a sale, something happening at a particular time in a particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's a great way to build a brand new relationship with a brand new audience. Get in touch. Radio Show Ad, Radio Show AD at gmail.com. Welcome back, everyone. Episode 303 of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina.
That's me.
Eating some celebratory cookies.
Woo, because Team Canada won. Yay! Woo, wrong side. Yay. You know what's so funny, Scott?
What?
Last weekend, we had aired our behind the scenes of Frozen Junior.
Yes.
Little did we know that it will be snowing like Elsa made it snow.
Crazy.
It was wild.
It was.
Like, talk about timing with our episode.
Maybe it was, that's why. That's what
Maybe.
happened. Elsa got mad or whatever.
Maybe.
But my flight got delayed coming back.
Oh, yikes.
Obviously, there was a friggin' plane crash.
Yeah.
Everyone survived.
That's a little
miraculously and
scary.
wonderfully. Yeah, unbelievable. The footage is crazy.
Was it still there when you got to Pearson?
The
The
what?
plane? Because I know they had to leave it there for investigations and whatnot.
I don't know. I think it. I mean, actually, I have no idea. But what I know
Wouldn't
is
you have
that
seen it?
I mean, I honestly forgot to even think about looking for it.
That's fair, because you don't want to really think about a crashed plane when you're...
Actually, I was kind of surprised at how like weirdly calm I was, and like it didn't even occur to me that like maybe my plane will flip upside down.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, and I'm glad that we brought this up.
Yeah.
Like, because of that experience, or witnessing that experience through the internet and seeing it have happened, does that freak you out now wanting to fly? Especially because you were just on a flight right after it happened.
Yeah, no, not really.
Super chill.
I think I kind of am just like, it's pretty rare. And like, I think it was, again, I think we're still waiting to hear exactly what the cause was, but it just looks like it was extreme weather, wind and snow and all that stuff.
Not you flying in on the extreme weather with wind and snow.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it can happen, but it just feels exceedingly rare, you know?
Like,
All right.
I've flown from Montreal to Toronto in a snowstorm, and that never occurred to me that
Yeah.
could be a potential.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But by the time I got to the airport, I'm not sure if the plane was there. I mean, I assume you're right. In fact, you know, the plane was probably still there because I believe Pearson had closed, like the one runway
That
was
runway?
still closed. But the next day for me, because I'm trying to think, did I fly the next day or the day after? I flew either the next day or the day after, but all the flights of that day had been canceled, and then there were a bunch of delays the next day. And then by the time I got there, my flight ended up being delayed about 2 hours. So it wasn't, you know, it was annoying, but also not that bad. Like, luckily, we got a text well in advance.
Fair.
So like we were supposed to fly at 5 p.m. And then the night before, we got a text being like, "Oh, your flight's going to be at 6." And I was like, "Okay." And then when we got to the airport, found out it was going to fly at 6:40. So we really only waited about, I think it flew by around 7.
Okay.
So
That's not, because I remember being like, "Are you guys back? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on?"
it was, yeah. And then when I got back, I couldn't believe how tall the snowbanks were.
I told you. I sent you a photo. I'm like, "Look, this is crazy."
And I decided I had to go to a meeting
Oh,
when
no.
I got back, and so I thought, okay, I'm just gonna jump on the TTC because like, I don't want to look for parking in this and like because half the parking spots are stuffed full of snow.
Yeah.
And then the streetcar like the streetcar
Around
short.
Spadina?
I was going along King, and then it. In fact, no, I didn't get on the first streetcar because it said it was going to short turn on Spadina. So I waited for the next one, and it short turned even earlier.
Ugh.
And so I had to go out. But like as I was walking down some of the side streets, there were certain sections where the sidewalk had not been cleared at all. You could just tell that there was like a little path of footprints that you
Yeah.
could follow. It was honestly kind of fun to walk in, but it's been a while since I walked around in that much snow. And I just wore my shoes too. I didn't wear boots.
Oh no.
Yeah, but you know what? It was fine. I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. I very rarely wear boots, to be honest, through
Fair.
the winter. I almost pretty much wear shoes year round. The only time I really put on boots is if like I'm going somewhere like,
You're skiing.
yeah, something like that. So, you know, it was actually quite lovely out. It was a lot of, I wouldn't have necessarily wanted
cardio.
driving in it. Yeah, it is better for you.
Good
yeah.
cardio.
Yeah. And the cold air is very nice and refreshing in your lungs.
It is when you've been inside for the day because of the snow, but it was just crazy. Here,
Yeah.
because I remember being like, "Who's shoveling while you're gone?" Because it's a lot of snow. You're just gonna come home. But yesterday, we were still driving around like side streets of Toronto, and there are cars that you can tell have not left since. Like, there's piles up of snow, and
Buried.
because a lot of streets in Toronto are street parking in front of the houses, like
Yep.
they're just trapped there.
Just not going anywhere. Yeah, it was, I don't know what the total amount of whatever centimeters it was, but it was a lot.
It was a lot. But I can't complain because my father-in-law is in Newfoundland, and it was nonstop snow for 24 days.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh,
Like his truck was covered in snow.
my gosh.
Yeah. So can't complain, but
Yeah, and
I
plus,
can.
our last few winters have been pretty mild, so it almost feels like we're just getting some now. Go skiing, I guess.
Actually, I've seen, because you know how the snowbanks are so high after shoveling?
Yep.
I've actually seen like little kids taking their their skis and like actually skiing. Not in my neighborhood, but I've seen it on TikTok.
I used to do that at my house. Yeah. When there was a big...
I could see that, yeah.
On our street, they would pile it up like a giant pile. And yeah, I'd get up there with this.
I could see that.
The funny thing about it is, like, you can do it, but like it's a pretty short... You know, you almost go down and you're like, okay, not worth the price of admission, but it was fine. But
Not the price of admission.
But I remember I used to do that quite a bit.
I could see you still doing that, Scott.
Yes. You know what? Probably would. You're right. But yeah, tons of snow.
Yeah.
Tons of snow. One thing I want to talk about. When I was in Vancouver, I went to there's a store there, and I wish I could remember what it was called.
Okay.
But I can't.
What do they do?
It's like in fact, I think what it is, it's a video rental store.
Oh, like a old Blockbusters.
Yeah, but it wasn't a Blockbuster, but it was that idea. But so you could go in there and you could pay a few bucks to rent a DVD or a Blu-ray.
Oh.
But they also had a lot of stuff for sale, and they had a lot of like old school, like you could buy used movies there, and they also had a lot of like books and comics and like that kind of store, that kind of stuff.
Like a Big Bang Theory type of store.
Yes. And I walked in, and on the table of items, they had
The Art of Star Wars.
The Art of Star Wars, including the complete script of the film by George Lucas. So this book, what's cool is...
That's cool.
And what I looked at it, so Star Wars came out in 1976.
Okay.
This book is a first edition. It was published in 1979.
Wow. How much was that book?
It was only $20.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, well, because what I noticed
For
is
what
like,
it's worth.
it was also kind of in rough shape. Like this part had like peeled off. So I actually put glue in it and fixed it. Yeah, I repaired it.
Good job.
But yeah, so like when you open it, so for starters, it's full of like all of this beautiful artwork, photographs,
That's cool.
concept art. But you can see the first page, Episode 4, A New Hope from the Journal of the Wills by George Lucas, revised 4th draft, January 15th, 1976. So this is like the entire script of the movie.
That's cool.
Yeah, I haven't dove into it yet, but...
That is definitely something I can see you owning.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's old because like it says here, the price, $10.95 US, $11.95 in Canada. If this book came out now, it would be like 30, 40, 50 bucks.
More than that.
Yeah. So,
My brother, who's also an artist, he has a bunch of those concept art books of like different, like Shrek he has, I think, and like other pop culture movies.
Yeah.
And they're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
No.
Yep.
But that's really cool. And I'm not a Star Wars person.
Yeah. I was surprised. Like when I first got it, I was like, I see 1979, right? I'm like, there's no way this is a
What does it smell like?
The 70s.
How do you know what the 70s smell like?
I don't know. The foreword says, The art of Star Wars contains an abundance of sketches and paintings that recreate the imaginative process that went into the making of Star Wars. For the reader's convenience, the book is divided into 3 sections. The first contains the script, annotated by hundreds of visuals, many of which demonstrate the changing plot line and evolution of the characters. So I'm curious how different the script is going to be from the movie. Because I know that the final edit of the movie was very different from the original first edit. So I'm very curious like what this is going to be, if there's going to be other things. Second chapter consists of numerous examples of poster art, including advertising posters that were developed to present the film to the public in the U.S. as well as abroad. And finally, we devote the last section, The Art of Star Wars, to the interpretations of the film by professional comic artists and cartoonists and young fans. So there's like fan art in here too.
That's cool.
Let me look at this. Like,
That's cool.
so nice. Concept art.
Concept art is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, like in this one, for example, like this is a shot from the movie, except like the land speeder doesn't look like that because obviously they adjusted it when they were making the film itself, and like Mos Eisley looks a little different, but you can get a sense of just. Sort of,
I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
I remember that. Yeah,
totally.
But yeah, it's just so cool. Look at that, X-wings flying down the Death Star trench, incredible. I love that it's all paintings. Anyways.
Well, if you go to Disney, Scott, Disney World, they also have stuff like that. Like
I would love
concept
that.
arts and different posters and different things. Like you walk down memory lane of, honestly, you should go.
I really do have to go. I know I've talked about planning to go.
You need to do it. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
going to go to Disney before you at this point. You just need to do it.
So sometime this year, maybe this summer.
You should go.
Oh, no.
Don't go in the summer.
Pick the down times, right? Yeah. So maybe the end of this year or something.
Just go now. You don't want to go at the end of the year. That's not dead time. That's the busiest time.
Is now the downtime?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check.
He'll go tomorrow.
I booked my flight. I'm going now.
No, seriously,
yeah.
you should really consider going, especially because you are such a fan.
I think I would love it. Yeah.
What are Star Wars fans called?
I don't think we have a name. Because you're saying like Trek fans are Trekkies.
Mm-hmm. Are you Starries?
I don't think Star Wars fans.
Google it. Not right now.
I will say this
but
as a Star Wars fan. In fact, hang on. Let's let the people see. Hang on.
Like what are you? What are you considered?
What are Star Wars fans called? Here, let's go.
Trivia. Let's do it.
I think they're just called Star Wars fans.
Are they?
There you go. I'm not the first person to call it. Star Wars fans are part of the passionate community of Star Wars, of people from around the world who share love. Yeah, there isn't a name. Okay, here's a Reddit post. If fans of Star Trek are called Trekkies, what are the Star Wars fans called? Star Wars fans. Some may also call them fans of Star Wars.
There you go. Was that your response, Scott?
Yes, that's actually, yeah, I made this to make sure.
You pre-made it, yeah.
I was pretty sure that that's what it was be because if I think if there was
you would have known
name
it
for Star Wars
already.
fans, I would have known it, yeah. That's it's funny. I've never thought of that.
Neither have I until I asked that question.
Yeah, Star Wars fans do not have a name.
But why?
I don't know.
We got to dig deeper into that Reddit forum.
It's weird. Like you would think,
especially because Star Wars and Star Trek are they're very like.
Well, I mean, for a long time,
Competitors?
you were kind of, probably, for example, you were either a Star Wars fan or you were a Trekkie because they were very different. And there was kind of this head-to-head thing going on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people like both, but
they won't admit it.
Yeah, and Star Wars is, again, it's like, it's existed long enough. It's got multiple generations of fans.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that a name, like Swifties or like something would have come around. Trekkies has been around a long time. That's interesting. The thought never even occurred to me.
You're welcome.
What would you? But
you can't say worries. You can't.
What's saying like Star Warriors? Star Warriors.
You can't say starries because stars and Star Wars and Star Trek are both stars.
Because I know there were fans of like Kylo Ren and Rey, and they called themselves like Reylos. But that's like very specific.
They shipped that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not real. Yeah, that's not like the general.
So if you look at like people who follow, like you said, Beyonce, or you didn't say Beyonce, you said Taylor Swift, they're Swifties. Beyonce is a Beehive. What is Star Wars?
And like, it's weird because even now the idea, like I'm trying to think of what it could be, but I'm like, anything I think of sounds like
Weird.
wrong or
Yeah.
cheesy. Like it wouldn't work. Star Warriors. Because then you got to go, you get specifics like something to do with the Force or like with Jedi or something. But
The Forces.
Forces.
That sounds so bad.
Yeah.
The Jedis.
The Jedi.
Now we're down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I don't know. If you have an idea of what a Star Wars fan should be called,
Let us know. Leave a comment down below.
But I will say this, the weird thing is like even as I'm thinking of it, and again, I don't know if it's because there is no name, the idea of having a name isn't appealing to me.
Seems wrong.
Yes. Like I'm almost like, we're Star Wars fans, just leave it alone.
Let me ask a friend their thoughts.
Okay. Another Star Wars fan?
If a Star Trek fan is called a Trekkie,
Yeah.
what is a Star Wars fan called? It sounds like a joke. It sounds like I'm asking them a joke.
Yes. Yeah, they're going to reply and be like, what?
I'll be like, no, that's the whole point. You have to answer the question.
Yeah.
Oh, they said, I don't know. That doesn't help.
Yeah, it's because it's Star Wars fans.
Because there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Noted.
Weird. I feel like we've just stumbled upon like this weird blind spot that you think, what? Nobody came up with a name for the fandom? And because it's not even like it wasn't a thing. Like, for example, like fans of Kiss were the Kiss Army, right? And Kiss were leading into that. So it's not like the 70s hadn't come up with the concept yet.
That's true. Let's say, well, I mean, Star Trek already had Trekkies.
Yeah, Star Trek is older. So like the idea of your fans calling yourself something was a thing. Mm-hmm. And you think something as big as Star Wars would, but...
Because, like, if celebrities have them, like you said, Kiss has them, BTS has them.
Yes.
Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Mariah Carey.
It's crazy. I just don't know what I would call them. And again, I'm saying this thinking, I can't believe we don't have a name, but also in the back of my mind, I can hear my brain going, but we don't want a name. We don't need a name.
What would we call the fandom of the sit down? The sitters?
What's up, sitters?
Who is part of that fandom?
Thomas. Thomas's. Definitely.
Sorry, Thomas, but why did we both say his name at the same time?
Well, because here he is.
What would we call Thomas?
Maybe Thomas can come up with a name.
Well, okay, let's not just Thomas. Let's be real. Les McKenzie is usually in our chats as well.
Okay, so
the two people who are in our chats.
So whoever's in the chats, or
what
if you're
would you
watching
like
this
to be
after
called?
the fact,
Yeah.
what should we call the fans of the sit down?
The fandoms of the sit down. Would you call them a fandom or a fan of the sit down?
An individual is a fan, and they're a member of the fandom.
Because we can't be like, our parents are part of the fandom.
Sure, they are. Why not?
They are the ones who created it.
It's not like there's a we
okay, fine. Our parents will be the only ones, and Thomas, who are part of the fandom.
Yeah, like our friends and family can't participate in the contests, but they don't have to be excluded from fandom.
Oh my God. Okay, so for those who are tuned in or watching at any point, let us know, and then maybe we'll create like a little Instagram channel, and they can have like exclusive. There's nothing exclusive.
Sounds tiring.
It's not tiring. I'll do it.
Okay.
Or just follow me on Instagram.
All right. Okay. Well, so let's see. Let's see what people say. I'm curious. Because I'm even thinking like of my own YouTube channel. What would I call my fans?
The Scotties.
The Scotties. Honestly, that's kind of cool. The Scotties.
But maybe that's what Scotty Barnes already could have potentially stole that.
Well.
Or Scotty's the toilet paper.
Scotties. Actually, I mean, the thing is, on my YouTube channel, because of my Brawlhalla streams,
the Brawlies.
No, we actually call them the Fly Gang.
Oh, Fly Gang.
Just because there's this thing where I won't explain it. You guys know what it is. But the point is, Fly Gang is kind of my group, so I guess I could stick with that. It's kind of a meme that's kind of already died, but it's still kind of funny.
It's still there. Thomas gets it.
Yeah, Fly Gang.
Gang,
What's up, Fly Gang? Gang.
This episode went all over the place.
Yes. Oh, one other thing I want to talk about. I
was just really curious to what Star Wars follower is called.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, well, we know it doesn't have a name. I'm just curious what the name could have been. Could be.
Because looking at your book, okay, before you change topic, I'm going to change topic. Looking at your book reminded me of yesterday. So I went to a Starlight production where it was dragons theme. So it was Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I remember seeing the ad for that.
So it was Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones.
Wait, you meant candlelight production? Candlelight concerts. Yeah.
So we were there, and they were talking about the different music and the different scenes. And the girl, she's like, one of the main speakers, she was like, oh, so I bet you can take a look, or when you hear the music, you can see the scenes in your head. And I'm like, no, I can't. I can't see it. I don't know what you're talking about.
When I'm hearing Star Wars music, I can hear the scene. I can see the scene.
I can't.
Like you can't see it because you haven't.
I don't like. I only know so much of Star Wars, and I've only seen so much of Star Wars.
Makes sense.
So to me, I was just when she said that, I was like, oh no, but don't say that. And like people are nodding their head in the audience, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, like when I hear like. Right, I always have like a vision of like I get a feeling in my mind. I can see certain colors and like, but again, it's because it's like part of my like inner being. But
it was funny because like they did like a whole thing on The Hobbit and it was like happy music. And when she said that in my head, I'm like, I thought of Teletubbies.
Some of that Hobbit music. Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, it gave me Teletubby vibes. And I'm like, that's what I envisioned.
You know what? Similar vibes, walking around on hills. Yeah. Kind of
I wonder
rotund
if that's where they got the
people.
Concept from.
Yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien definitely ripped off Teletubbies.
No, I meant Teletubbies.
Many people don't know this, but Lord of the Rings was inspired by the popular four?
Yeah, Tinky Winky. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, and the Eye of Sauron
is the sun.
Is the baby son. Yeah.
But it was just so funny because she said that, and I was like, oh, I don't understand anything. I've never heard any of this music before. And then she did like a trivia question, and I was like, oh no.
Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
No.
You haven't seen Lord of the Rings?
No. See, if it was like a Harry Potter one, then I'd been like, okay, this makes sense.
So you went to this concert then, and you were kind of just
Blind.
like, yeah, you were kind of just like listening to nice music.
Well, my husband is a big Lord of the Rings fan, so to me, that's why I went. Like, I got him the tickets.
Yeah.
And then I sat there, and I'm like, I have no idea any of this music. Any name that she said, all of these things from Lord of the Rings to Game of Thrones, I was just like,
have you watched Game of Thrones? Mm-mm. Oh, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised.
No.
But it's just. So, did you like it? Was it fun?
It was nice music, yeah.
I mean, it is nice music. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, even times like I've gone to a concert where I don't know any of the songs, and I'm like, I see the audience going nuts.
They're vibing.
And I'm like, if I knew these songs, I know I'd be enjoying it more. Because when I hear when I watch like theme song or soundtrack performances, it's like I'm immediately like brought back to the movie. But if I haven't seen the movie,
you're just listening to new music.
Just listen to music, yeah. I should go to that one.
You should.
Actually, if I remember right, the reason I didn't go to that one, because I've been to a few Candlelight concerts. The reason I didn't go to that one specifically was because I remember I'm like, okay, I watched Game of Thrones and I liked it, but I only really know the theme of that, like the main theme. I don't know if I've watched it enough that like other parts of the music would connect with me in that way. So I think I was like, I might not get enough out of it because I usually I'd like to try to know all the music, if not most of it. But it's nice.
I've never been to one, but my husband's really into that stuff, so I'm like, yeah, let's just go. But no, it was because I didn't really know the music. I think I was paying more attention to the musicians instead and seeing them and like their reaction, and when they get really into the music, how their body just like vibes with it, and I'm like, whoa, this is cool. Seeing
that in person is very cool. Yeah, like I remember I've gone and seen Vivaldi's Four Seasons a few times, which again, same idea, like candlelight concert type situation. And yeah, when you actually just hearing it coming out of the instruments right in front of you, and like, the feeling, the passion, hearing them breathe. Yeah.
Or just seeing them like, literally. Because the last one I saw was Symphony in the Gardens at Casa Loma. But I do enjoy those. I think with that one, I enjoyed it more because, again, like I like seeing people's reactions to experiences. And I was there with my family from the Philippines, and because my uncle plays for the Philippine Harm Orchestra, it was nice to see his reaction to what he was watching.
How did he like it?
Oh, he loved it. And he was so into it. Like, the man is all about the video selfies, so he was doing he was vibing. And so the same thing with yesterday, like seeing people's responses and hearing their reaction to what she was saying. Because she's saying names, and I'm like, what is Middle Earth? I have no idea. Like, she just saying all these things, and I'm like,
I was just saying
It
the
felt
other
like
day,
a Star Wars special on the sit down.
it's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying the other day, I'm like, oh, I gotta do another Lord of the Rings rewatch. 'Cause that's
The extended version?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh.
But like I'm the type who, yeah, like every few years it's like, okay, time to sit down and just binge all the movies. And then maybe like 14 hours of special features too.
I was telling my husband, like, we should watch Harry Potter again. And he's like, how about we watch Lord of the Rings? I'm like, no.
I think you should actually. You might like Lord of the Rings. If you like Harry Potter, it's a similar but different kind of vibe.
They're not wizards. How is it the same?
There are wizards in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, is there?
Not-
See, I don't know anything.
Yeah. It's not all wizards, but there are wizards. It's like, yeah, because Middle Earth is like, that old the fantasy. So that you got wizards, you got elves. In fact, you got a lot of the same stuff. Because in Harry Potter, there's like dwarves and elves and mystical creatures. Lord of the Rings has a bunch of that.
Maybe. Well, the reason why I got into Harry Potter is because we were going to Universal Studios, and I'm like, I should probably watch it so I know what I'm good. Where am I going to go?
Yeah.
A Hobbitville to understand the film?
I think you and your husband should sit down and watch The Fellowship of the Ring. And don't be on your phone. Just watch the whole movie.
Actually, I watched a movie recently where I didn't touch my phone the whole time.
What movie?
It was a Filipino movie on Netflix.
And I guess it just kept you interested. There you go.
Like, you know how, like, sometimes you watch movies at home, like you said, like, don't have your phone in your hand? I didn't even care to pick up my phone while I was watching that.
It's amazing. That's good.
It's weird.
In fact, you know what you should do? I'm going to watch for it. Because, like, I go to the Fox Theater pretty often. I think I've talked about it before.
No, I'm not going to watch it there.
Yeah, you should. That'd be the best place to watch
Oh,
it.
because I can't put my phone out.
Yes. So that's why if Lord of the Rings or Star Wars comes up, I'll message you and it'll be like, hey, get your husband.
You're going.
Yeah,
We're all going.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, no. Okay, fine. I'll go. And if you see me try to pull my phone out, be like, no. Don't do it.
The ushers will kick you out. Although I don't think they even do that anymore, but I don't even think they exist.
I watched that new Captain America in theater.
Oh, was it good?
I could have pulled my phone out for that one.
Oh, not that good?
Yeah. Save it for Disney Plus.
I wanted it to be good.
I mean, it's good. It's just they could have done a lot more.
That's too bad. I'll watch it eventually.
It could have used more action scenes.
Really?
And that's coming from me.
Interesting. Well, I'll check it out one day.
Yeah.
I'm not that big on the Marvel stuff right now, so I'll get around to it.
I could have pulled my phone out.
Yeah.
But weren't you saying that actually off air a few weeks ago that Netflix is making sure that content
Oh,
is...
yeah. Second screen. Yeah. So what I've heard is that they're like movie producers and movie directors who are getting feedback from Netflix being like, oh, this story is not second screen friendly. As in, oh, your story's too complicated. Somebody who's watching this while also on their phone is not going to be able to follow it. So simplify it.
That's wrong.
Or like, oh, this pacing is not, it's too slow. So it's basically they want to create content that somebody can still kind of pay attention to while they're also scrolling on their phone.
Is that what the sit down is for all of you who are watching?
I would almost say yes, and actually, I would almost be okay with that. I think this type of content, it kind of serves it. You know, something you put in the background to hear.
Well, it's like a podcast. Right? A regular podcast typically doesn't have video.
Yes. Although if you're not watching the screen all the time, you'll miss this. But yeah.
Oh, you just missed.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say with the second screen thing, I'll say like I'm not necessarily opposed to Netflix having some content with that in mind. Like I can imagine most reality TV is probably like that, right? Like you can kind of just be watching it, but listening to the talk, and then somebody yells, and then you look up for a second.
That's me with Love is Blind right now.
Yeah. So like I can understand the idea of doing that. Where I have a problem is like you're going to say that to like an actual filmmaker or somebody who's trying to make something really awesome, and then tell them, oh, sorry, but like somebody who's barely watching your show is not going to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And like me personally, I could never see myself like making a film with that in mind.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you because you are a film creator, director.
Yeah.
Does that make you worried for your future projects?
It I've already decided that that would never be a compromise that I would do.
So he won't be on Netflix.
Well, what I figure is that, like, I think of like Christopher Nolan movies, for example. Christopher Nolan movies are very much not second screen friendly, and like, but that's also how most movies were
Are meant to be.
in that, like, so for example, there could be a one shot, a close up of, you know, somebody lifts this, you know, and the camera focuses on it. Nobody mentions it. Nobody goes, here's the mug, hold on to it, right? It's literally just like, okay. And I've been watching movies with people who are on their phone, and someone will go, oh, wait, what do they have that now? And they'll be like, well, because he had it, right?
If
and
you were paying attention.
Yes, if you were watching, you would have seen that,
Yeah.
right? Christopher Nolan movies are like kind of that to the, like, it's full of things where like they don't over-explain things. You know, he'll show something, or there'll be a glance, or they'll, you know, and if you're watching the movie and paying attention, it's there, right? And also, you'll still always miss stuff because I find those movies are almost made to be watched more than once, in that you'll learn something new every time you watch it. And I figure because of that, that's how the type of movies that I would want to make.
Yeah.
And I figure even if it's not mainstream, there's always going to be an audience of people who appreciate that. And I'm just going to make films
Yeah.
for those people, and I just hope that there's enough of them. Yeah.
Fair. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of this sad state of things. And actually, yeah, final thing I want to talk about was kind of good transition into it. You see this thing I heard about where a bunch of Jeep drivers, I guess they have their like infotainment system in the console or whatever. They started getting pop-up ads, and it would pop up every time they brake. It was like a pop-up ad encouraging them to like buy extended warranty for their insurance or something.
That's so annoying.
Yes.
Wait, is that a spam?
It was sent by the owners of, like, it wasn't like
I'm like,
Jeep.
did they get hacked?
No, it was something that was being pushed out by the company that owns Jeep. Apparently, it was a glitch in that it wasn't supposed to keep coming like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were worried that it kind of shows what's coming down the pipeline. Apparently, a few years ago, Ford, I think it's Ford, they patented this thing where they can, through your car's speakers, they'll like send ads at you based on like where you're driving, or who, like they'll record data like where you are, who you are, what time of day it is,
Yeah.
and then they'll send ads to you based on,
Like on your screen?
or like just in your speakers. So like you might be driving and then suddenly your car will be like,
I've
Hey.
never heard that.
yeah, apparently at the time it came out, it was a few years ago.
Oh,
There was a
okay.
lot of backlash, and then Ford said, oh, well, they walked it back or whatever.
Never mind.
Well, they were like, you know, lots of companies patent things that they never end up doing anything with. But I don't know. I have a feeling there's just, every company is trying so hard to squeeze every dollar they can. And
It's just like another Spotify ad.
yeah. And something feels weird about, you know what it reminds me of? Like, did you ever watch Black Mirror? You know, but like I remember specifically, there's this one episode where they're in this like really, really, I don't know, regulated society. But I remember there's this part where, so a guy goes to his bedroom, and his bedroom is just screens, like the whole walls are screens.
Oh, gosh.
And like, it's cool in the sense that like, so, you know, you can have a setting and like, oh, wow, all around you, it's like the beach. You know what I mean? But every now and again, an ad pops up, like the entire walls are an ad. And I remember in that scene, he was kind of in a bad mood. And so he just lay down and like closed his eyes. And then a recording was just like, you will be docked negative social credit if you do not watch the ad.
Oh, gosh.
And the guy was like in a bad mood. So he just like chose to take the negative. But I was like, I remember watching, I was like, geez, that's
Wild.
shocking. So every time I see this kind of stuff where it's like there's nowhere you can go where you won't be advertised to. I don't know, just there's something I think weird about it happening in your car. you know?
Yeah, because like it's one thing to do it at home where you're watching like Crave, for example.
Yes.
Right? Crave for the cheaper version, like the basic version. You do get a lot of ads.
Yes.
Spotify, free version, you get an ad. I'm sure if you're watching this on Spotify, you probably got a few ads. YouTube also has ads if you're not paying for the premium.
Yep.
But then when you bring it into your vehicle.
Yeah, I think the thing that irks me about it is I think there's a so all of the examples you just gave, for example, like I'm consuming some kind of service,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm aware that ads come with it. Like I watch TV, I know that there's ads, right? This kind of weird ad popping up in the car,
That's distracting too.
I mean, there's that as well, but it just sort of feels like the equivalent of that would be, again, let's say we're at home and I'm like in my kitchen, you know, washing dishes, and suddenly like my fridge is advertising to me.
There is smart fridges.
Yeah. I mean, and it just kind of feels like, or like I'm in the shower, you know, and I'm using my shampoo and then, bloop, you know what I mean? And
Now that's consumerism at its finest.
yeah. And the thing that messes with me is that I do feel like there are people who are trying to do that, you know, because like it's like, oh, where are they? Where can we get to them? Where can we
Yeah.
serve an ad? Because it's anywhere where they can get some ad revenue out of you, right? So I don't know. I just feel like there's a
Shower
certain line.
speaker. You're on Spotify.
Yeah.
Head and shoulders.
I think it's, you know what it is? I think it's the difference between like, it's why I also dislike telemarketers so much. Because it's the same thing. It's like, if I'm using something, if I'm actively choosing to use this, I'm turning this on, I'm using this, I'm aware that part of getting it for basically free or whatever I'm doing, yeah, the ads are how I pay for it.
Yeah.
But the idea that like the ads can come out and seek me,
That's weird.
yeah, like it feels like an intrusion.
It is, especially like I was saying, like when you're in your car, a lot of people use that screen for their GPS, right? And so let's say they were bright, obviously red light, so they are stopped, and that ad pops up, but they need to figure out, do they turn left or right at the next light? And you kind of just F them over because, surprise, you need to da-da-da-da-da, here's an ad. No, that's just, I'd get pissed.
Yeah,
I'd be like, I don't want this car anymore.
it feels like a line has been crossed. It just feels.
There's nowhere safe anymore.
Yes, like I mean, yeah. Just the idea that you can just kind of, I don't know, unplug. Let's say, I feel like there's fewer and fewer places you can do that. And again, the car, like I'm just gonna go for a nice drive.
You already get ads if you're whether you're listening to the radio or you're on Spotify or Apple Music or anything like that.
But you know what the creepy part about that ad is that, and maybe that's why it bothers people even more, is like even if my radio's off, even if I've turned everything off,
It still pops up.
that would because this thing it's not like
when it breaks. Yeah.
well yeah like it's not one of those things. Like I'm not consuming media. I'm not doing anything. This is just a thing that is built into my car. The manufacturer of my car has decided that
This is what they're gonna do.
yeah feels wrong.
Maybe Jeep revenue will go down.
I don't know. The thing that bothers me and concerns me is that if that's the direction we're going and all the companies do it, then it just becomes a sort of a thing you can't
Avoid.
escape. Yeah.
That's not good.
So I guess we're ending the show on a sour note.
No. Change the topic.
Well, you know, let's say this.
Okay.
In fact, actually, we'll end it with this.
Okay.
So I finally activated my new phone. This is not a new phone. I bought this over 2 years ago. Okay. My BlackBerry died.
Yep.
My BlackBerry Key 2, loved that phone. BlackBerry Key 2 died.
Yep.
A friend of mine gave me their old Samsung Galaxy S9. Old phone.
Yeah.
But I was using it kind of as a stopgap while I was waiting for this one to arrive. But then when this one arrived, it was just kind of, I never got around to like, what, you know, I'm going to take the time to like transfer. Like, so I kind of just kept using this phone for like 2 years. And then I finally, when I was at Vancouver, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to finally use this.
Yeah.
And I like it. But the funny thing is like, I've spent 2 years getting used to typing on a touch screen.
Yep.
So it feels weird to go back to hardware keys again. Like I'm literally starting over.
I used to love phones like that because then you can actually just like feel what you're typing.
Yes.
I mean, now I've memorized it's sad. I've memorized where the keys are on my touch screen so I can type without looking.
Yep.
But there is something about physically talking about throwbacks today.
I know. We got hardware. We got baggy jeans. We're everywhere.
Oh my god.
But I find like I'm not that great on typing on this right now.
Oh no.
not.
Is that
But-
why you just stopped texting?
I don't text as much.
No.
But anyway, the reason I brought this up with the Jeep thing is like I opened up this phone.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't do an unboxing because I was like, it's already 2 years old. I may still do a video about it. We'll see. But point is, I opened up the box. Okay. Inside the box, this phone was about $200, even when I bought it brand new.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, in terms of
For a
phones.
phone, yeah.
Yes, for a new phone especially. $200. Okay.
What kind of phone is it?
It is a Unihertz
A what?
Titan Slim.
What the heck is Unihertz?
Unihertz is a company. They sell their phones on Kickstarter, and it's a company. They literally made this phone for people who don't have a BlackBerry anymore, and wanted to have something kind of like it. So this is a full Android phone, runs Android 11, I think, made by Unihertz, and it's the Titan Slim.
I'm curious because it was a Kickstarter company. It's been 2 years. Is that company still around?
I think they are because I'm still getting emails from them from time to
Okay, I
time.
was going to say, considering that phone is 2 years old, if you ever needed help with it, is there still a
Oh, I don't think any help is coming my way. It's just what's funny is like it came with a 1-year warranty, but like I didn't open it for 2 years after I bought, so even that's nothing. So like, but anyway, it's been good. Thomas, Titan, as in Attack on Titan? Yes, exactly the same.
Oh, welcome back, Thomas. We talked about you and you weren't even here.
Welcome back, Thomas. We were saying for fans of the Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown
Like
and
a
Regine Alaina,
fandom.
what would the fandom be called?
Would you be called the sitters?
Yeah.
Would you be called not the downsizers?
Yeah. If you have a name, what do you think, Thomas? What do you think? Yeah, no problem. But welcome back. Anyway, what I was going to say is I opened this phone up.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. In the box, $200 phone. Okay. It came with the plug. Charging cable.
Nice.
This phone doesn't have a headphone jack,
Is it Bluetooth?
but it came with the dongle,
Oh, nice.
so I can plug my headphones right into it. It came with it.
Unlike other
Yes, it
phones that
came-
you have to buy.
It came with a case,
Wow.
and it came with a screen protector.
Oh, wow.
It came with everything I
And
need.
warranty.
And warranty. There was nothing I needed to buy for this phone
Wow. For $200.
for $200. And you're going to tell me you buy a phone now for $1,000
Yep.
and they can't give you these things?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't even
It's
get
like-
headphones anymore.
No. Actually, did it come with headphones? This one didn't come with headphones, but it came with the dongle.
Is it Bluetooth?
It comes with Bluetooth too. Yeah. It's
like-
not like it has all the modern things that a
Okay.
phone would have. And it's got 2 days of battery, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, it comes and it's like half of my. It's amazing.
Wow.
But anyway, it's just like these are things that.
What's the camera quality like? Can I see?
I don't
Can you
think-
unlock it first?
Yeah, I don't think the camera quality is very good. Like one thing I will say, like the phone.
That's not good.
The phone. It's made for a specific demographic.
Wait, because when we have art, okay, that's not bad.
It's like not terrible, but it's not modern by any stretch.
But I'm curious, when you have when we have guests on that need music, we plug into your phone.
I have the dongle.
Where?
It's not here with me. now.
Exactly. So what if we were like, let's do a musical performance? We couldn't.
Yeah, well, I'll have to make sure I remember the dongle, I guess. Which is why it's kind of annoying that there's no headphone jack. But again, that's another thing. It's like phones, it's like they're taking things away.
Yeah.
And then we don't have any choice.
To buy an
Yeah.
adapter.
Well, no,
yeah.
it's that we don't have a choice to, like, I can't even choose the phone company that gives me the adapter. I mean, I guess in this case I did. Right.
Yes.
But by and large, they're all kind of just choosing, we're just going to remove this feature and you're not going to have it anymore.
You used to pay extra for it.
Yeah. And it's just, we're companies. We need the companies who are willing to like just do good stuff
Again, consumerism at its finest.
Yeah. I just hate that it feels like we're getting screwed. Anyways.
Have you taken pictures and videos on that yet?
I've taken a few. It's again, it's not awful. It's just like, again, the thing about it is like
It looks clear from here.
yeah, like it's not, you know, I mean, you guys can't, the camera's not there.
It looks good in person.
Yeah, it's like, it's not going to compare with like the latest iPhone or Samsung camera. But again, even when I had, I don't care about the quality of my phone camera.
Because you use an actual.
Yeah, like when I want to shoot something that's important, I have a professional camera for that. So it's just not high on my.
I mean, I have
priority list.
my phone. I usually use my phone to record you. So
Yeah, and it
if
does.
I'm there, yeah.
And it does take good pictures. But in the case
There's
of
a cinematic option. There's HD option. There's 4K option. What do you got?
I think the shoot's 4K. I actually don't know. Let me see.
As you do that, let's see what Thomas says.
Camera setting. Actually, does it, like, let me see. If I go to video, what's the highest video? It might just be 1080p. I think it's an older camera.
I mean, it's 2 years old. Okay, so Thomas says, fandom for the sit down, the sit and listeners.
I think it's too long.
I don't like that.
I think it's a little too long.
I got one more, though.
He's got
The Roundtable Crew.
the Roundtable. The Dion Dynasty.
No, because it's not just Scott.
The Sit Down Syndicate. Scott's Circle. Yeah, we gotta include Regine.
It's not just all Scott.
The Dion Dynasty.
No. That sounds like your future children.
All right, we'll work on it. We'll work on it over the months and we'll figure something out by the end of 2025.
As our fandom grows.
As our fandom grows, exactly. All right, well, this was a good episode.
Are you going to do the last segment, Scott?
Oh yeah.
At the Dion Dynasty.
Yeah, I will. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some redemption. Well, we'll see. Introducing
Perhaps.
this week's edition of the Barrel of Monkeys World Championship. What do you write?
He deleted it.
Oh, so he's still working on it. He's working on it. Okay. Barrel of Monkeys. Regine.
You don't need an example.
No.
No.
So Regine, your score at the moment is
10? 9?
it's higher than mine. I know this.
Can we check? I don't
Do you want
really
me to check
remember.
first, or should we
yeah.
check after?
Let's do it.
Okay, so if we take a look at the monkey standings,
I really don't remember.
Regine, you are sitting at. Where are you?
Towards it. I think I'm a 10, 11, 10, 10.
Yes.
10.
Regina's at 10, and I am at
9.
9 monkeys. Okay. I think I gotta adjust the camera for this. Hang on.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay.
Thomas says Brown and Alaina Nation. Alaina's not my last name, Thomas.
Yeah, but it works for your.
He doesn't know.
It works for your.
Nobody knows.
It works
But thank
your
you for
stage
adding
name.
me.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it to be your actual last name. You would want it to be what your stage name is.
Exactly.
okay.
Not the Govey name.
Yeah. All right, let me check. Yeah, monkeys should be camera 1.
do 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 do. It's been
There
a
we
minute
go.
since you've played. How are you feeling, Scott?
I don't really feel that ready, if I'm being completely honest.
Oh.
But I'm going to channel. I'm going to try to get some of that energy of our Team Canada victory and harness it. Do you want to do? Do you have the timer?
I can do timer.
Okay, and then you'll. control
Oh,
the
because
timer.
your new phone doesn't have a timer? No, I'm just kidding.
It doesn't have that technology. They hadn't invented that 2 years ago.
I'm kidding. Okay, are you ready?
I think I am. All right.
Are you in a comfortable? You're gonna take over my seat? Okay, got it. Okay, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. Whoa. All right, good pour, good pour. Oh, okay. Okay, now I have to do commentary. I'm not used to doing commentary.
Also, turn the camera down.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Ooh, okay. That was a really good pour. Now, will you be able to capture any more from what you just did? Oh. Oh, oh no. Oh no. You got 24 seconds left. Take your time, Scott. Oh, shoot.
Come on.
All right.
No.
You got 10 seconds. You got this. Maybe 5 seconds. Give it up, Scott.
There it
Time's
is.
up, time's up, time is up. Time is up. Oh.
That was pretty good. I really feel like I was close.
Oh,
I could
you
have
were
gotten them
so
all.
close. Okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 monkeys?
Yeah. How do you feel?
Honestly, really good.
Yeah.
And like, if you look,
Try again. Let's see.
scroll the camera down. So I was able to move this monkey on top of this one, so it's elevated. So look at how close I was to like grabbing this dude because he's now off the table.
Well, guess what? Time is up. Good redemption, though. You moved up in the world.
I did better my.
Oh.
I did better my score. Okay, let's go back.
Oh, you angry?
Thomas, right? Money's on the line, Scott. Think of the money. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Okay, let me go to the monkey standings. We got better.
You did. Good job.
Thank you.
You did it.
All right, so let's move myself up.
Or at least you didn't do worse than you originally did.
Yeah, the pour was really good.
It was the pour, yeah.
And so there we go. Look at that. Scott Dion Brown sitting there with 9 monkeys.
You've made it to the
I'm leaving
second row.
leaving those losers behind.
Scott,
Yeah.
be nice. Those are our guests.
I'm booking a one-way ticket out of Loserville and jumping into. In fact, I'm going to put number 10 on its own line.
That's so rude.
Scott Dion Brown.
OMG.
10 monkeys.
We need to get Taylor to come back, and then maybe he'll...
Look at that. Sitting all alone at the top of 10.
Oh, shut up.
Well, Aki's there, Regine Alaina, Thea Asadilio, and James Nickel.
You finally made it to third place.
Honestly, there was a moment.
Is it third place? Fourth place?
Well, I mean, it depends. So first place is Antoinette. But Michael is like kind of tied for first, except he's technically second.
Not. He's second.
So if he's second and then everyone else.
So we're fourth.
We're kind of fourth. Yeah, yeah.
So we only have 2 people with 11. Liz and Bailey.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was a moment where
I thought you were
really
going to get
thought
it.
I was going to get it. Like when those 2 monkeys were left and there was like 20 seconds left, I was like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And it just wouldn't.
I seriously
attack.
thought you would.
But that concludes this week's edition of the Barrel of Monkeys World Championship.
And then they all just jumped right off.
Yep.
Phew, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm glad I did that. I almost forgot about that. And then even when you brought it up, I was like, should I? And the answer is yes.
You should.
Yes, I should.
Always. The answer is always yes, you should.
Well, Regine, where can people find you?
Y'all can find me on my Instagram and TikTok at It's Regine Alaina, which is right here. If you are looking for pageant coaching, because pageant season is in full force right now, and you are looking for a pageant coach, you can find me on pageantcoaching.reginealaina, which is in the description. The link in my bio has my full availability, so you can find me there. Scott, as you are counting monkeys to make sure we got them all, since you decided to throw them onto the floor, where can people find you?
You can find me right here, where you're watching this very video, youtube.com/Scott Dion Brown. Mm-hmm. It's the best place. It's where you get the sit down. Mm-hmm. It's where you get all the music. It's where you get the vlogs. It's where you get the gaming. It's where you get everything. It really is the best channel on the internet.
It's where you get the fandom of the sit down.
That's right. You get it all. You get it all. And so follow me there. You can also find me on Instagram at Scott Dion Brown. I posted a couple photos that I took recently.
That you took or
rather that Tyra took.
Exactly.
And I am in them. So you can check those out there.
Pretty fancy photos, Scott. Pretty fancy.
More coming. We had some pretty good photo shoots, so there's more coming down the pipeline. But
We need a new one.
Thomas says, it's not a video, it's a live stream. But it's also a video.
It turned into a video after the fact.
Isn't it a video because it's being through a camera? Isn't that what video is?
Video live stream. You both win.
Yeah, it's kind of it's and it will be a video after.
It's a video on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all those places.
And then for people who watch it after the fact, it's
talk and just say what we need to say.
I agree, and it's just a good to get caught up, talk about stuff.
Because we can just keep talking.
Yeah,
Is happy to announce that we are one of the media sponsors of the concert that you'll be hearing about next weekend with Marky Hughes. It's the king of hip hop from the Philippines, JR. And it is a VIP only concert. So you will be able to meet and greet JR and sit down and have an amazing dinner at Rembrandt Hall. We will be there. We are super excited. I am part of the fandom, so I am excited to see JR and his amazing guests that he's bringing in. We'll be there. If you're interested in tickets, let us know. Tickets are still available, but they are very limited. Reach out to us on social media, and we can connect you with Marky Hugh Productions for your tickets.
there you go. And also tonight, I don't know if there are any tickets left.
No, it's sold out.
Well, then tonight I will see you all who have already got tickets. I'm going to be at La Kai Cocina again. There's I believe it's like a workshop where you can like learn how to make lumpia.
Let's see what it is.
Which is a delicious Filipino food.
So good. It's called Lumpia and Sip, a one-of-a-kind lumpia and wine event.
So it's sold out.
Oh.
But all of you who are going to be there, I'll see you there tonight. I'm going to be got my guitar. I'm going to be...
What's going on?
Internet's going nuts.
Excited to see what our viewers call our fandom.
Yeah. Let us know, people. What is the fandom going to be called? We'll get there. Anyways, bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Cheers, people.
Woo.
Cheers.